I thought after the first 5 or 6 minutes, I thought they came out and kind of punched us in the mouth a little bit with their pressure and their intensity. I thought that phased us a little bit, and they kind of got up 7 or 8. But I thought after that point, we settled down, and we were better. I know this is the second half. We only had 4 turnovers the second half. Then the thing we did again the second half, we got that ball inside in that paint. These 2 guys beside me went to work. Against that pressure, you got to do 1 or 2 things. You got to drive it there. We were having trouble driving it there the first half. Second half, we threw it there. And again, these 2 guys went to war. And again, I think always a huge stat. We get that foul line, I think, 20 times the second half. That's a big stat for us. But great game. It was early adjustment for both teams. But we're blessed and thankful we came out of this with a win, and glad to be in this championship game tomorrow.
Coach Jared McDonald with the Daily News. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Jared.
There you go.
Coach, can you hear me?
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. You too to me and the boys too. A win like this, obviously it's a great program. What can a win like this early in the season do for you guys, just moving forward?
Well, Jared, we take all games one at a time. They all count 1 win, 1 loss. You don't get 2 wins winning last night or tonight. They're all 1 wins and 1 loss. But I do think, there's something more special with these wins because the early season wins, they're against great competition, and it's on a national stage against 2 of the better teams in the country. So when you add those things up, we're still 2-0, but there's 2-0, or it's a pretty special 2-0 considering the 2 teams we played and defeated.
Coach Jared with the Daily News again. I know you mentioned those 2 guys sitting beside you. Charles especially, I know he was back in his first game since the injury yesterday, but it seemed like today he was really back. He was the star that you guys want him to be and expect him to be. How good was it to see him play at that level? And I guess, what did you see going into that performance tonight?
I mean, that's kind of level that we know he's capable of doing. We want him to play at every night. We know it's adjustment for him. He's been out of this game for a long time. It's just not, you got to get yourself back into playing shape, some game experience shape. It's different than practicing for 6 weeks. So the more he plays, the better he'll get. And I think no question the second half, we saw the old Charles in there dominating that paint. And we were able, they had advantage on us at the other end. They went small. And they were very difficult to defend off that dribble. They took Jeffries, who was a starting 4, and slid him to the 5. That's hard to defend. So if we're going to be able to win this war, we got to win it at our offensive end, taking advantage of our mismatches. And we had 2 mismatches, we felt, with Carson and Bassey both, and we got them the ball. Both those guys, that second half, I haven't studied the stats, but I know they both went to war, and both of them are really productive. How many points these 2 guys have second half? Anybody got that stat, Zach?
I'll get it for you, Coach.
Okay.
This one's for Charles. Charles, this is Jared McDonald with the Daily News. Second game back, best performance of the season, and since your return, how did it feel out there for you? And what went into the performance for you tonight, or this morning, I guess?
It was pretty good. Yesterday was my first game back since last year, December the 7th. So, it was pretty good, and just getting back to my old self and just playing to my capability. So, I felt good playing with my team, and my teammate gave me the ball the second half. So, we won the war. Memphis is a pretty good team, but, we're a pretty good team too. So, we were ready, and we can fight, and so we got the win. We were tough, so we got the win.
And, Carson, this one's for you. This is for Jared with the Daily News again. Coach has talked about you 2 big guys down low. What was it for you that you saw working out there and allowed you to have the level of production that you did?
One big thing for me this game was hitting the offensive boards hard. I just tried to try to take the mismatches that the coach said I had, and use my physicality to exploit that, hit the glass hard. You know, the same thing on the offensive end there in the second half.
Coach Jared McDonald with the Daily News again. In the first half, I think you mentioned it, there was about a 7-minute drought that you guys had scoring, and then there was 3 quick 3-pointers that got you guys back into it. You know, what did you learn about your team when they were down like that and during this game, and what allowed you to have that level of success and come back that quickly?
Well, again, there's no panic in us. We get down a little bit. We feel like we have enough scoring different ways through 40 minutes. You guys got to stay the course and not panic one way or the other. As I said earlier, I thought there was adjustment for us. The way they came out and was really aggressive. You know, they iced some screens. They got into us. They switched screens, and we're not used to playing against that all the time. So we had to adjust some things we did and the way we were going to attack it. You know, early we did one thing offensively and it wasn't very good, and we adjusted. So they couldn't do so many of those things. So, but through 40 minutes, you know, we got different ways we can score the basketball. Different people can score it. Again, we don't panic. Again, it's a long game. We knew that we got guys very capable of jumping up and making shots, and I don't know what we shot today. We had that little stretch. We had 3 threes, get back in after that. I don't think we shot it consistently well because they're so good defensively. They're up in you, they're long. They only give you a lot of shots. But when they do that, it spreads the court out a little bit and gives you an opportunity to throw it in around that rim. As I said, we played without fouling. I think they made 6 free throws. They only attempted 11. That's a big stat. And I think we made 19. So they make sense. Attempt 11, we make 19. That's a huge stat again. There's 13 points difference on that free throw line. And again, the way we play, you know, that's a huge stat every night for us.
Coach, this is Danielle Lerner with the Daily Memphian here. When you talked about, you know, how you got those threes and you didn't panic, a lot of those came on longer rebounds, but a few of them was just your guys having the awareness to look to kick the ball out after those came. Is that something that you really try to emphasize, or is that something that kind of came naturally with the flow of the game?
And your first name was Danielle?
Yes.
Hey, Danielle, let me tell you, this guy to my right now in that stretch, what he did you can't teach. He went and battled about 4 guys for an offensive rebound and kicked that thing out for a 3. It wasn't nothing but effort and toughness. I get no credit for that. He gets all the credit. And that's what he's about. That's what his game's about. But those are winning plays. That kind of helped really change the flow and get us back in that game in the first half. And it was his effort along that backboard to get us going.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question. All right, with no more questions, congratulations. We will have this archived on the Sanford Pentagon YouTube channel shortly. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, players.
Hey, Charles, y'all need to take a shot here or go to the hotel, whatever y'all want to do. No problem. We're probably going to stay to halftime. Right. If y'all want to stay the whole game, we will. Probably halftime. We'll see. Sit right here. Straight. Hey, Luke, how much time before your game starts?
10 minutes.
Hello? Hello?
Right. Good afternoon, everybody. We've got head coach of the Memphis Tigers, Penny Hardaway here. Again, just a reminder, please mute your lines. If you have a question, please use the hand or wave function, and I will call on you. We'll start with opening comments from Coach Hardaway. Go ahead, Coach. If you have opening comments.
I didn't hear you.
Yep, sorry. If you have
it was a tough game for us, man, because we came out with so much energy. We jumped on them and had an opportunity to keep them there and just didn't. And they got back in the game with offensive rebounds, got offensive rebound kickouts for 3 threes in a row. And then it became a game from that point on. And with a veteran team like they have, redshirt seniors, and Charles Bassey being almost a lottery-style player, coming back from a knee injury with hunger, just couldn't let them just get any room or any confidence, and we did. Let them get their confidence, and we ended up losing the game.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start with questions. Danielle Lerner, go ahead.
Hey, Penny, it's Danielle from the Daily Memphian. When you talked about that stretch where they got back into the game with all the three-pointers and some long rebounds, was there any underlying cause that you saw for that? Was it just a communication breakdown? Was it simply not having the effort to go for the closeouts? What was it?
It was effort. They wanted it more. I mean, that's all it is to it. They wanted it more than we did. And I always talk to the guys about being the toughest team. And for that stretch, they were the toughest team.
Just for everybody, we've got Landers Nolley II joining Coach Hardaway as well. We'll go with a question from Jason Munns.
Hey, Penny. So now that you've won one, you've lost one, what's sort of your sense walking off the floor of where this team is, and what to kind of expect? What do you think you can expect tomorrow?
Well, we're going to come out and play hard because that's our culture. That's what we're going to sell. Guys can't save themselves. Guys got to do exactly what we're asking them to do. It's all about our principles, man. We work on this stuff every day. You have got to be the toughest team, and toughest team meaning you got to finish the play with a rebound. And if you do that with our offensive talent, then we're going to beat a lot of teams. Right now, the mindset is take this loss, learn from it, and be ready to play tomorrow.
Jason, follow up.
Thanks. I wanted to ask about DJ. Tough showing first couple of days for DJ. So what's your sort of evaluation of his performance so far?
He's not scoring the basketball, but he's doing other things. But we do need him to score. We need to score him because he usually has a mismatch whenever he gets the basketball. And, whenever he hits his stride, he's going to be okay. But right now, he's just not scoring, but he's doing a lot of other stuff. He's led us in rebounds the last couple of games, the first 2 games.
Any other questions for Coach or Landers? Take question from Clayton.
Hey, Coach, preseason you talked about how Landers, would be one of the best shooters in the country, how valuable he'd be coming in. What did you see from Landers in this one?
Well, he did what he does every day. He makes shots. That's what we need from him. He didn't shoot it as well the first game, but shot it better this game. And, with us being down a big, we're having to start small. And when you get those undersized bigs down there, he has to go down there and fight with those guys. So it's just what we have to shore up. I'll be ready for the next time that we have to face that. But he did a great job today overall because, scoring 25 points is not easy on this level.
Question from Danielle Lerner.
Hey, I've got 2 questions, one for Coach first, and then I'll ask one for Landers. But Penny, in the last few minutes of the game, what did you see from your team? When it got at one point within 3 points, I think, with 20 seconds to go. What happened after that in your eyes?
Well, we started pressuring the ball and made them turn the ball over. But at the end of the day, it's a veteran team, veteran guards. They only have one freshman. Everybody else is juniors and seniors or redshirt seniors. So, they just finished the game off. We didn't execute a couple plays at the end, but that has nothing to do with it. It started in the beginning of the game when we let them get on that run, and we could never recover. But at the end of the game, in those 20 seconds, we were just trying to pressure the ball and get a steal. And after you get a steal, you got to make a bucket, and keep yourself in the game.
And then Landers, what were you seeing in that first half that allowed you to get on the tear that you did?
Honestly, in the first half, my teammates just found me, and I just knocked down open shots. They looked for me, and I just delivered.
Follow-up question from Clayton.
Coach, just you mentioned it with being down a big. When you guys went small, that really seemed when Charles started to take off there. I mean, was that in your mind in the moment that not having Ahmad or having DeAndre there as options, so you had some size to go against him a little more?
Yeah, that definitely hurt. But honestly, Lester did a really good job on Charles. First time he got him, he took the charge. And then he got his fourth foul after that, which hurt us because I felt like Lester was going to be able to guard him. Once Landers got on him, he got it up high, scored a couple times. But then we got Musa in there. He scored one time, and then we got Musa in there, and then he scored a couple other times. So we had an inexperienced freshman guarding a senior, really, and some undersized guys guarding him. And like you said, just being down a couple bigs, it hurt in this game.
Final question from Jason Munns.
Hey, Landers, this one's for you. Is there any value in, a game like this? Like, what do you take away from this and hope to, sort of use it going forward?
I learned that when I have a certain assignment, then I just have to lock in a little more and focus on that assignment.